Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with part 3 of the J-Yard Local, picking up right where I left off. I mentioned at the end of part 2 that I will be leaving for Guatemala soon, and as I'm trying to get into the habit of uploading videos on a more consistent basis, I decided I'd break up the 2 hours I recorded of J-Yard into 2 or 3 videos. However, I didn't finish this local in those 2 hours, so there are definitely more parts down the road. I left off as I was pulling away from Girard Class Company track, GGO. I mentioned last time that there are several industries along this particular track. Next in line are VCS, which we serviced in the last episode, and on the other side of that track is BTL. After clearing the switch, this was the next set of cars I grabbed. I had to pull forward a few hundred feet to get onto the crossover track before reversing onto BTL. Unlike the cars at VCS, the cars at GGO, BTL, and the next industry were tied down right up against the buffer. As I mentioned in the last episode, trains get spontaneously deleted if they shove too far past the buffer, so I had very little breathing room. Notice I took my time coupling. With disaster avoided, next in line for service was a single loaded gondola car at Zeros and Ones Recycle Bin, ZOR. I crossed back over and once again had to be very careful coupling. Originally, I intended to grab the cars waiting at Fleetwood Pacific Industries, but as usual I mucked up my own plans. By the time I realized it, I had left the cars behind and was already pretty much at J-Yard. And just like that, the next set of outbounds was ready. Once I decoupled the P1448 from the reefer cars, I started planning the next move. I knew I still had the pickups waiting at Fleetwood, so I figured the next move should be to switch out the remaining drop-offs along that particular set of stub tracks, and grab the Fleetwood cars on the way back. YJY68R is the local for industry south of J-Yard. They were somewhat mixed in with cars tagged YJY78R, the local for industries north. It was a simple enough job to switch the cars out. I placed the 68R tagged cars on an empty track and shoved the 78R cars aside to be serviced later. I found it quite enjoyable switching in this yard. Unlike Mojave, J-Yard isn't sitting on a grade, and I was working with smaller length consists overall, though I did still find using just one Jeep to be a bit underpowered. You may have noticed I've included some background music to the last few episodes. I'd like to know if you think this is a positive change I've done or not, and if you feel the tracks that I chose fit the video. I've been editing down videos quite a lot, but as another experiment, I just sped up the footage of me switching in J-Yard. I'm hoping that the jumping around isn't too jarring. If I feel it's preferable to jump cuts, I'll keep with fast forwarding yard switching in future videos when I feel like it works. I couldn't complete a switching job without messing something up. I didn't realize that I had moved along J-Yard far enough to reach the Alameda corridor, and as such I didn't realize the switches weren't lined for me. I would have been done with the switching sooner, but I ended up with a split track condition. This forced me to pull all the way past the switch, which I then had to manually override through the dispatch screen. All this to couple one little boxcar destined for Fleetwood to the rest of the 68R train. And that brings us to the end of part 2 of running the J-Yard local. I have to admit I'm a bit biased in favor of a time-lapse given it's much easier of an editing job, but I'll leave it up to the audience to decide which is better. In part 3, I'll be coupling back onto the 68R cars and reversing out of J-Yard to service the remaining industries. That video should be out on Wednesday, so keep an eye out. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.